The nuclear truth about limerence. After being cheated on, and we're calling out the real demons behind limerence like we're billing them rent. Limerence is not love. It's a psychological addiction in heels. Let's clear this up with the speed of a queen deleting her ex's number. Limerence is not love. Love is mutual, reciprocal, grounded, secure. Limerence is obsession on crack, fantasy wearing lingerie, trauma bonds with lip gloss, hormones doing parkour, delusion sponsored by abandonment wounds, the spiritual equivalent of taking 4 espresso shots and then crying. Limerence is the brain going, he destroyed me, but also, what if he texts? It is the mental itch that betrayal activates. It is the dopamine withdrawal from a cheater's inconsistent affection. It is the emotionally abused part of you saying, please, just one more drop of validation. And please understand this. Cheating doesn't just break trust. It scrambles your neurology. Betrayal is a brain injury, not metaphorically, chemically. When someone cheats on you, your dopamine crashes, your cortisol spikes, your attachment system glitches, your ego fractures, your sense of safety dies. Your brain tries to fix the threat by clinging harder. Limerence is not you being weak. It's your brain trying to solve danger the way it solved childhood pain, by obsessing over the source of the wound. But don't worry, we're about to drag limerence by the edges. Part 1. The toxic alchemy of betrayal, plus feminine imagination. Women don't fall into limerence because they're crazy. They fall into limerence because they are imaginative, loyal, hormonally attuned, intuitive, emotionally expansive, spiritually wired for connection. When a woman loves, she doesn't sprinkle love like seasoning. She pours it. She marinates in it. She plans a whole future inside her chest. So when a man cheats, he doesn't just betray the relationship. He betrays the world you built in your mind. And that is where limerence grows. Limerence after cheating is basically, I know he stabbed me in the heart, but maybe, just maybe, he'll apologize so perfectly one day that all the stab wounds turn into baby's breath and sparkles. Your brain becomes a PR team for the man who ruined your mental health. And I know you've had that moment. You're driving, minding your business, and suddenly, what if he realized I'm the one at 2 a.m.? What if he cries? What if he changes? What if God sends him back healed? What if that girl was a mistake? What if he sees my worth later? Limerence is hope on life support. Hope with a cracked rib. Hope wearing false lashes in the ER. It is delusion dressed as loyalty. And it feels like hell because your imagination won't shut up. Part 2. Betrayal activates the female competitor. Something dark and primal awakens inside a woman when she gets cheated on. It's ancient. It's competitive. It's not pretty. It's this. Oh, you replaced me? With her? 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 Suddenly, the woman who didn't matter becomes an obsession. Not because you care about her, but because betrayal hits a part of the feminine psyche that screams, prove I'm better. This is not you being insecure. This is evolutionary psychology. Women were conditioned for thousands of years to compete for male loyalty, because male loyalty ensured survival. So when a man cheats, your body goes, threat, abandonment, loss of resources and protection. Your modern brain knows you don't need him. Your ancient brain disagrees, and that contradiction creates the emotional hurricane we call limerence. You're not crazy. You're primal. Part 3. Why limerence hits different after cheating. Because cheating creates 3 psychological fractures. 1. The ego fracture. He made you question your desirability. Even if you know you're a 10, your ego goes, "What if I wasn't enough?" That question is a trap, a poison, a mental parasite. Limerence thrives in that insecurity. 2. The narrative fracture. Women don't love casually. We love with storylines. You had a whole life scripted in your head. Betrayal ruins the plot. Now you're emotionally pacing like, but the story wasn't supposed to end like this. So your brain rewrites scenes, replays memories, edits fantasies, creates alternate timelines. That's limerence. 3. The attachment fracture. When someone cheats, your attachment system panics. I need to reconnect with the person who caused the wound to feel safe again. It sounds insane, but it's biological. You're not chasing him. You're chasing nervous system regulation. Limerence is not about love. It's about survival. Part 4. Limerence makes you miss things that never existed. This part is gonna burn. Limerence makes you grieve your fantasy of him, the potential you saw, who you thought he was, who he pretended to be, who you hoped he would become. The version of him he showed you for 15 minutes on a Tuesday. The soulmate he could have been in a parallel universe. You don't miss him. You miss your own imagination. And that is why limerence feels like heartbreak layered on heartbreak. Because you're not losing one person. You're losing a dream, a future, a fantasy, a storyline, a belief, a possibility, an identity. It's grief multiplied. Part 5. The sexual element no one talks about. Let's get spicy. When a woman gets cheated on, her sexual psyche gets scrambled. 2 things collide: the desire to reclaim him and the desire to reject him for touching someone else. Limerence feeds on jealousy, imagination, sexual competition, the desire to win him back, the ego wanting to be chosen again. This is where it gets dark. Limerence can make you crave the same man who destroyed your self-worth. Not because you want him, but because your sexual ego wants revenge through validation. Limerence is horny confusion, a dangerous cocktail of abandonment, adrenaline, comparison, ego bruises, fantasy, shame, longing. It's not love. It's biochemical chaos wrapped in lipstick. Part 6. The lies limerence whispers to women. Limerence tells you, he could still change. He still loves you. She meant nothing. He regrets it. You're soulmates. You just need closure. You just need one more conversation. You can fix this. You weren't enough, but maybe you could be. Every one of those statements is a hallucination caused by stress hormones, trauma bonds, emotional addiction, cognitive dissonance, attachment panic. Limerence is a liar with perfect cheekbones. Don't listen to her. Part 7. Limerence turns women into detectives with a Wi-Fi connection. When betrayal hits, limerence activates stalking, screenshotting, timeline analysis, comparing outfits, inspecting likes, decoding captions, watching videos for hidden messages, checking the other woman's page with spiritual intensity. Women in limerence become CIA-level investigators. We can FBI search a man's entire life using intuition, 2 screenshots, and a friend named Brianna. This isn't insanity. It's limerence tightening its grip. You're trying to regain control in a situation where control was stolen. Part 8. The addictive cycle that makes limerence hard to break. Cheaters create intermittent reinforcement. Kindness, then cruelty. Attention, then disappearance. Affection, then betrayal. Promises, then lies. This is the most addictive behavioral pattern known to psychology. Casinos use it. Drug dealers use it. Manipulators use it. And cheaters master it by accident. Your brain becomes addicted not to the man, but to the emotional relief when he returns. Every time he texts, dopamine hits, fantasy returns, storyline resumes, ego repairs itself. The wound stops bleeding. The world feels right again, momentarily. Then he hurts you, again, and the cycle repeats. This is limerence. This is why you can't let go. This is why you stay stuck. Part 9. The spiritual truth about limerence. When a woman gets cheated on and develops limerence, it's not weakness. It's a spiritual initiation. Betrayal cracks your ego so your soul can awaken. Limerence forces you to confront your attachments, your fantasies, your fears, your illusions, your childhood wounds, your romantic conditioning, your self-worth, your boundaries. It is not punishment. It is rebirth disguised as heartbreak. Every woman who survives limerence becomes wiser, sharper, more intuitive, harder to deceive, impossible to brainwash, spiritually upgraded. You become the version of yourself who could never fall for him again. Part 10. How to break limerence like a feminine goddess on a mission. Here is the feisty truth. You don't heal by moving on. You heal by seeing him clearly, destroying the fantasy, evaluating his character, honoring your wounds, cutting off the dopamine supply, blocking access, reclaiming your power, reminding yourself he was not the prize, overdosing on self-worth, choosing yourself louder. Limerence ends the moment you accept he was never your soulmate. He was your lesson. And baby, when a woman finally sees the man clearly, limerence shrivels up like a salted slug. Final conclusion. Limerence is the ghost of the woman you were before you knew better. The woman you are becoming will not want him, will not miss him, will not fantasize about him, will not obsess over him, will not replay him, will not imagine him, will not desire his return. Because that version of you, the limerent you, was operating on hope, not clarity. Limerence is the bridge between who you were when he broke you and who you become when you finally choose yourself. Once the fantasy dies, the obsession dies. Once the truth settles, the longing evaporates. Once your power returns, the spell breaks. And the woman who emerges? She is wiser, sharper, colder where she needs to be, softer where she chooses to be, harder to access, impossible to fool, selective, glowing, magnetic, spiritually untouchable. You will never be the same woman again. And thank God for that, because the healed version of you, she is someone a cheater could never reach.